Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to recap episode 175. Previously on the series, Yi Fan led more than 10,000 barbarian warriors in a full-scale assault against the Wang family, igniting one of the bloodiest battles in recent history. Fighting at the front lines, he personally slew one of the Wang family's top experts before unleashing the Golden Sacred Domain and the 6-character True Mantra, sweeping across the battlefield and massacring countless mighty cultivators. Meanwhile, the barbarian cavalry clashed head-on with over 1,000 ancient war chariots deployed by the Wang family. Both sides suffered devastating casualties as the battle escalated into an all-out war. In the end, the barbarian warriors unleashed the divine arrow technique, while Yi Fan used the myriad spear's bow to shoot down multiple great powers one after another, pushing the Wang family to the brink of collapse. Just as the battle reached its climax, a great completion king suddenly appeared, signaling that the true showdown had only just begun. Episode 175. With the arrival of a great completion king, the battlefield became even more brutal. The newcomer was none other than the Azure Dragon, the guardian divine beast of the barbarian tribe. Having lived for nearly 4,000 years, the Azure Dragon personally led the barbarian army straight toward the heart of the Wang family's sacred land. Faced with the overwhelming might of the Azure Dragon and more than 10,000 elite cavalry, the Wang family's defenses began to crumble one after another. Left with no choice, they summoned their ancient ancestor from seclusion and prepared to awaken their supreme saint weapon. Everywhere on the battlefield, blood flowed like rivers and corpses piled into mountains. At this point, human lives had become no more valuable than blades of grass. On the eastern front, the barbarian chief wielded the great saint stone axe and shattered the Wang family's incomplete saint weapon, tearing open their defensive line. To the north, the white tiger guardian beast engaged the Wang family's ancient guardian wolf in a desperate life and death battle. The two divine beasts fought with everything they had. In the end, the white tiger emerged victorious, killing its opponent. But it also suffered devastating injuries and was left on the verge of death. Elsewhere, Yi Fan encountered the Wang family's massive fleet of ancient warships and battle chariots. Forced into a difficult situation, he unleashed the purple gold hammer, destroying hundreds of warships and clearing a path for the barbarian cavalry to continue their advance. When the four barbarian armies finally regrouped outside the Wang family's sacred land, the white tiger returned carrying the severed head of the ancient guardian wolf. The horrifying sight sent shockwaves throughout the entire Wang family. At that moment, Wang Lai, the Wang family's great completion king who had lived for more than 3,700 years, finally stepped forward to confront the invaders. With saint weapons in hand, both sides faced each other across the battlefield. The final battle between the barbarian tribe and the Wang family had officially begun. After Wang Lai declared that he would awaken the Wang family's hidden legacy, the battle immediately entered its most critical stage. The Azure Dragon transformed into a humanoid form before charging directly at Wang Lai. The two great completion kings unleashed one supreme technique after another, exchanging hundreds of attacks in the blink of an eye. When the dust finally settled, both had suffered catastrophic injuries. The Azure Dragon lost one of its wings and half of its body. Meanwhile, Wang Lai had his internal organs torn apart, while his primordial spirit was severely damaged. As the two supreme experts fought to the death, Yi Fan led the barbarian cavalry in a relentless assault, destroying the Wang family's war chariots, ancient warships, and heavily fortified battle fortresses. Using the blood spear technique, the barbarian warriors gradually broke through every defensive line and advanced toward the sacred land itself. As Yi Fan and the barbarian cavalry continued their relentless assault, the Wang family realized that defeat was drawing near. With no other choice left, they decided to awaken one of the greatest hidden legacies that had protected their clan for thousands of years. On the ancient war chariot pulled by 9 purple gold divine roaring lions, cracks suddenly appeared throughout the pile of divine source. One piece after another broke loose and fell to the ground. The entire battlefield instantly fell silent. Tens of thousands of soldiers stopped fighting as every pair of eyes turned toward the mysterious figure sleeping inside the divine source. The Wang family members immediately dropped to their knees. The Dark King Ancestor. Our ancestor has awakened. Please save the Wang family, they shouted desperately. Meanwhile, the barbarian army watched in complete silence. Everyone understood that an unimaginably terrifying existence was about to awaken. More pieces of divine source continued falling away. Finally, the old man sealed inside slowly opened his eyes. A horrifying demonic aura instantly spread across heaven and earth. His eyes were completely dark, like two endless black holes without the slightest trace of emotion. His cold voice echoed throughout the battlefield. Who has disturbed my slumber? Has the Wang family truly reached the point of life and death? One of the Wang family's great powers immediately knelt before him. My lord, the barbarian tribe has invaded our sacred land. One of our great completion kings has already fallen. The Dark King ancestor slowly looked toward the barbarian army. So, the barbarian tribe of the southern wilderness has truly become this powerful. To think they dare launch a direct assault against an ancient aristocratic family. The barbarian chief immediately stepped forward. It was your Wang family that invaded our homeland again and again. You massacred our people. Today, we have merely returned the favor. Hearing those words, the barbarian cavalry simultaneously raised their blood-red spears toward the sky. Protect our people. Flatten the northern plains. Their battle cries shook heaven and earth. The Dark King ancestor nodded slightly. The barbarian tribe truly lives up to its legendary reputation. But, you really believe you can destroy an ancient family? His voice suddenly turned icy cold. An invisible pressure swept across the battlefield. Countless barbarian warriors coughed up blood. Some collapsed on the spot, unable to withstand his terrifying aura. At that moment, the man-king stepped forward. With a single step, the entire battlefield trembled violently. Several distant mountain ranges collapsed instantly. Even numerous Wang family experts were blasted into the air by the shockwave. The old warrior looked directly at the Dark King ancestor. So what if you're the Dark Demon King? Do you really think the barbarian tribe fears you? I can still kill you. The Dark King ancestor narrowed his eyes. The body of a barbarian king. So this legendary bloodline still exists. But you're far too arrogant. The man-king showed no fear whatsoever. You exhausted your lifespan long ago. You've merely sealed yourself inside Divine Source to delay your death. The moment you awakened, your fate was already sealed. The Dark King ancestor let out a cold laugh. So be it. Let me see just how powerful this so-called barbarian king truly is. The man-king immediately raised his white bone staff. You don't have much blood energy left. How many attacks can you still unleash? The Dark King ancestor roared. 2,000 moves. That will be more than enough to kill you. Dark clouds instantly covered the entire sky. Boundless demonic energy spread in every direction. The aura was so terrifying that the barbarian army was forced to retreat. Everyone finally understood why the Dark King ancestor had once dominated the world. Yet while everyone's attention remained fixed on the confrontation, Yi Fan quietly moved into position. Over the years, he had thoroughly mastered the Source Heaven book, eventually becoming a true Source Master. Hidden beneath the Wang family's sacred land were countless dragon veins and spirit energy channels. Silently, Yi Fan completed a secret formation. Then, he stomped heavily onto the ground. Boom! The sleeping dragon veins beneath the sacred land instantly awakened. Endless streams of dragon chi surged upward. The terrifying energy rushed directly beneath the divine source surrounding the Dark King ancestor. A split second later, the impossible happened. The enormous pile of divine source suddenly exploded. A blinding light erupted across the battlefield. The terrifying explosion instantly vaporized countless Wang family cultivators standing nearby. Their bodies were reduced to ashes before they could even scream. The divine source explosion was so violent that even the Wang family's saint weapon had to activate automatically just to suppress the catastrophe. When the smoke finally cleared, the Dark King ancestor was still alive. But he had lost one arm. His legs were mangled. His body was covered in horrifying wounds. He had been critically injured before he had even thrown a single attack. The Wang family fell into complete despair. Their greatest hidden legacy had been crippled by Yi Fan's brilliant strategy. The Dark King ancestor roared furiously. His eyes burned with endless hatred. Another youngster, using the same technique, the same fighting style, the battle saint technique. Thousands of years ago, he had once suffered his greatest defeat at the hands of the young white-clothed divine king. Now, another young genius had humiliated him once again. Before he could recover, the man-king had already arrived. Without giving his opponent a single moment to breathe, he launched his attack. The two supreme kings collided head-on. The heavens shattered. The earth split apart. Every clash between them seemed capable of destroying the world itself. In this episode, the battle between Yi Fan and the Wang family reached its most intense stage. The Dark Demon King awakened, but before he could unleash his full power, Yi Fan cleverly used the Origin Heavenly Book to trigger the underground dragon veins, causing a massive explosion that severely wounded the ancient ancestor. Taking advantage of the situation, the Barbarian King fought the Dark Demon King in an earth-shattering duel and ultimately destroyed him completely. As the Wang family fell into despair, they revealed one hidden trump card after another, including the terrifying Arctic Immortal Light and finally their strongest hidden foundation, a terrifying primordial ancestral beast. However, the barbarian tribe answered with an even more shocking secret. Their supreme ancestor, sealed perfectly within liquid divine source, appeared like an invincible god of war. His overwhelming aura alone forced the primordial beast to retreat in fear, proving that the Wang family had already lost. At that moment, everyone understood that the fate of one of the oldest ancient aristocratic families had been decided. The legendary Wang family, which had stood proudly for hundreds of thousands of years, was now on the verge of complete destruction beneath the iron cavalry of the barbarian tribe. And that's where episode 175 comes to an end. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next exciting episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next recap.
chúng ta cũng không thể thua kém người khác. Đó là hướng Bắc Nguyên. Hãy để vương ra diệt vong nhanh hơn một chút.